Good evening, guys. Ken Tortoise Capital Nightly Strategy Podcast for July 24th, 2023. Brother just finished reassembling the custom oak cabinetry from the north wall where we're getting some water in the basement. We saved the oak just in time, and he's got it installed in another spot. Tremendous piece of craftsmanship on his part, supported by my unskilled labor. Let's get started with Alcoa on 30-minute charts for the hybrid swing trading. I posted for non-foundations and creativity course students. I posted a brand new course, an executive summary that took a look at the 4-hour coaching sessions we did on Sunday. They were off the chart good enough to be a standalone workshop, in my opinion. So there's 3 price points you can get. You can just use the coupon free and just watch them. If you choose the $197 or the $497, you get a coupon worth double the face value for either one of those courses once you get a chance to see what they are. So I think you can trust me saying it's well worth that price. And that's a 2-hour win that you're locking in. But we're experimenting with some flexible pricing, see how that goes. All right, so Alcoa, let's get started. So last week we took a micro gain and exited before the close. This is the close, obviously. Today it opened up down here, gave us a 1, 2, 3 entry. The MACD turned to summer. We bought it with the standard risk and took a dragon exit for +1. That's like my favorite trade all the time. Just one brick. See a brick, make a brick. AI, no trade. Caterpillar, this was a nice trade. This was an SSC after a short trade last week. Bottoms out. PSAR flip. Standard risk. Dragon exit for about 0.5. Very orderly. Cliff. Same trade. Last Friday, cashing 3R on the short side. You get a COTA 2 this time, standard risk, and about 3R at the dragon exit. Just like downtown. No trade in CVS. Dish Network. Took the COTA 2 continuation for an R with a late dragon exit. Devon Energy, COTA 2 continuation. I decided to hold this one. Even though it had came down and touched the dots, the R10 was still looking strong. And I want to give it a chance to gap for me tomorrow. EA, no trade. Emerging markets, this is one we're holding overnight. There's been a really long, painful slide. Held like a triple bottom. That was our successful short from last week. Today was a gap up and go. On the second bar, took the entry, standard risk. It zoomed way up here. If I were to do this again, I think I would take that dragon exit. I think I'm going to regret holding it a little longer, but I still felt like there was plenty of room to go. And this was a decisive move at the start of the week. So I think there's a good chance for one more positive gap. And because it's emerging markets, a lot of that happens after our session is done. So we'll see how that works. Ethereum, no trade. I missed the short. Took the SSC in Mexico, holding that one overnight with 2R in hand. Brazil, Kata 2 continuation after a very successful pair of Kata 2s last week. And this is looking good, holding +2. Intel, I just missed the short. There was a big gap up and a collapse all day. Just missed that one. On the other hand, IP, I hated this one when I took it, and I regretted holding it overnight, and it crushed for about, we're holding about 4R on that one on a 2-day trade. Same thing with IYR. I didn't really like that when it was so close to resistance. But it turns out that what I feel about it has absolutely no impact on the next days. It has no predictive results. I'll say it that way. So that was holding 4R. International paper and U.S. real estate. Just, I mean, the opposite of groovy stocks. Missed the Kata 2 on regional banks. Missed the Kata 2 on Mattel. It didn't really go very far. It looks starting to look choppy. McDonald's, no trade. Missed the short side continuation on Merck. That was straightforward. No trade on Microsoft. That one is really setting up well for tomorrow with this tight risk box right here, and holding support at key price levels that have had 1-2 really big moves. I think that's the focus stock for tomorrow, ready to break in either direction. So that's Microsoft. Marijuana. Missed the slide. The slide continues. Not very volatile. That looks more like indifference and just lack of buying pressure. Nvidia, no trade. Clean Energy, no trade. Rivian, no trade. It's trying hard to get a little Kata 2 action with this rising lows, but it hasn't been moving that much. It feels like it's locked in a very wide range on these 5 days. So I'm just staying away for right now. The S&P muddled through. Treasuries, the decay continues. Tesla, I initiated a Kata 2, and I'm going to hold that. We're holding about +1. And it has a nice move to 280 to get to the edge of the gap. And if it closes the gap, it's got 295. So that one feels intriguing. I really like the U.S. steel trade. This was a nice one-day intraday. Orderly short, Kata 2, PSAR flip, standard risk, ran all the way up and dragon exit for 1, 2, +3. I really like that one. Thought I did a nice job on that. We'll shift to the sniper trade of the day, a 3-minute chart. Where are we at here? Sorry, I thought I had this one blocked off, so we could just uncover it as we go. So here's the opening trade. Here is the OR3. So this was the close. This was a gap up. This was the peak to go long. This was the signal to go short. It went short. It went to here, then closed back up 2 bars without violating the PSAR. So it just took the scratch. As we got a 1, 2, 3 off that bottom, and basically an OR3 breakout, I took that one with a no lose plus enter for 2. It had 10 bars, and it really never got any traction, so I took that one. And then that was the trigger for it to give me a Kata 2 re-entry with a standard risk, and that one just took off. So that's a 2R battle drill. That one's the 4R battle drill. So this was the Kata 2 re-entry. That's the 2R battle drill. So 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the 4R battle drill. It ran all the way up, came back down. Can't, on 3 positions, I can't tolerate that third position going negative. So just took everything out there, and that was 6R. 4R on position 1, 2R on position 2. Checker hold. Kata 2 re-entry. Half an hour gain on the dragon exit. Kata 2 re-entry, scratch, and that was enough. So the opening shenanigans, quick scratch, first little chunk, nothing happening, just in time for something to happen. Look how quickly the story changes, and then a couple micro trades, and then it never really moved out at all. 7R. We'll check the traders. All right, Rad's working the Aussie, the 3-minute Aussie here. I like the OR3 breakout. Lets it come all the way to minus 0.85. This is one of those, and we talked about it this weekend. You'll see an extensive discussion in that executive summary course that when you have that SQC or a Z3P, that the breakout is supposed to go. And when it doesn't, I try to get that scratched, and I think about the stop and reverse to try to get to the bottom of the channel as leg 1, and then if that works, to get leg 2. And that's what we mean by fake 1, go 2. This one, if he'd have been able maybe to scratch right here, he would have gotten leg 1 back to the previous Z3. And then when it doesn't fail, it tells you that the channel is just in place. And you might have taken this one, or more likely that one. Again, when this doesn't work, cut it and then take the short. And it gets all the way back to the other side of the channel. Look how strong that channel was. When that doesn't break out, you can do 1, 2, 3, and then try to play towards the top of that channel and try to get this trade. So when these false breakouts don't immediately just go, for the advanced traders, that's what the channel trade looks like. And now on this one, there's actually a Kata 2 twice. The very good discussion on that from this weekend's Foundations course and Creativity course. Let's see, this is natural gas. The channel is clearly up and to the right. So you got the RL270 is up, and we're getting a short twice. So the counter trend trade look at when the positive trend is like this, and you get some channel like that. to take the counter trend trade, you really have to see like an exaggerated move out of that channel and then start to reverse so that you can get something like a return to the Bollinger Band mean. It requires that exceptional move to get to an exceptional location so that when it rolls over, and if that's your risk box, you have two positions back to the Bollinger Band mean. Both of these shorts are like inside the middle of the river, and there was not really an extreme move up to get short on, in my opinion. Whereas this one, you push the boundaries of the Z3, there may have actually been something in here that was available. So let's try to recognize the location of the trends, like you're getting short here in the summer, or in the fall. I like this one. This is actually legit as a long, except you were short. That's really a good long position. Like, that should trigger when this one fails to get short back to the 270, and you just made a new high of the day, and you got this Kata 2 stuff. Can we get long there? We could. Just also got to remember natural gas, a very narrowly constructed index, single commodity, doesn't trade with the same kind of sensibility that you get with a broad multi-class index like the S&P or the Dow. Here's gold. Here's a Z3 breakout. There's a trade there. I like this one. Re-entry. Fair enough. And then when this holds at the Z3 pinch, does not fail further, failure to fail further is information. Perfect. British pound. This is that exaggerated move. So here's your Z3 pinch. This could have been played. It wasn't, but look how it pushed the boundaries of the Z3 all the way up and then comes collapsing. And then if we just plot the middle of that line as the reasonable return, then that's a really nice trade, and it gets all the way to here, crushes it. So the previous fair value acts like a really strong magnet on these broad indexes and currencies. You're only going to get a move away from that a certain distance. It's not a internet stock. And then that gives you the return move, very symmetrical. So I really like that. That's 1.27. That was nice. Damien, PSAR flip, standard risk, 2R. Quick cut, 1R. Kata 2 re-entry, 2R. Net 3 for the day. Stress-free trading. Accepted the loss. So remember our guidance from Mike Three Bears. Surrender, empty, and nothing. To surrender, you've got to be aware of things as they actually are, not as that you want them to be, wish they could be, hope they could be, had planned for them to be. You got to be aware of things as they are, and you've got to acknowledge the truth of that the way they are is exactly what they are, and it is perfect just like that, and then accept things as they are. And that just has everything to do with the truth of things. independent of what you wish. And then empty is taking that bowl that has all the feels in them, and all of the responses have all gone into the bowl and everything. And then you just sit down and start discarding the excess feelings until nothing remains, just you and your bowl and yourself and your identity. And you stay there pondering what it is the next thing to do, or just recognizing where you are and where you've been. And you stay there until it's time to do the next thing. And you'll know what that is. If you don't know what that is, then you should probably stay there and just rest. But once you're in that state of where you've emptied the bowl, total zero state in that sense, nothing is required. Nothing has to happen except as you intend. 100% pure intention. Once you get off your spot in that meditation circle, and you brought all the news and things of the world into here, and then you just surrender to the moment, awareness, acknowledge, and acceptance until it's time to go. And whatever direction you take towards whatever purpose or goal or target or event, all of that is driven by your intention. And let that intention be love and goodness. And if you do that with a pure heart, the world will recognize that and give that to you tenfold. It recognizes your pure intention. And you can't hide that intention from the world, from the universe, because you are part of that universe. And your job is to be exactly who you are. And who you are informs the universe, honestly, just as you are. And that's what you're surrendering to, is that you are an infinite part of an infinite universe, representing that single point of view that is uniquely you. And that's your job. Your job is not to run all this. Your job is just to be true to what's going on there and tell your true story. So surrender, empty, and nothing. And when we do that, we get out of our own way and we can live clear eyed, free of spirit, with a free spirit. Tim, let's see where we're at here. Standard risk gets paid at the PSAR. I like the CATA 2 effort, quick exit and short. We might have been able to stay longer in that one. And then there was probably that crossing of the PSAR. A lot of work going on in here in Merck. I think we got chopped around a little bit in the that move in and around the VWAP. So this one gets paid a fraction, quick loss. I like the relaxation, except we might have gotten short here when it crossed. Just take a look at this. If this is our VWAP right here, right? And that doesn't go, it rejects here. When that comes back through the VWAP and leaves the dragon, I think we could get short here rather than here. And then that becomes a scratch. Or if you got half of it, half an hour, but really probably just a scratch. And that makes a big difference in the whole day. And then when this gives us a doji at the piece and rolls over again, you won't lose money on that trade. You shouldn't, because you're getting an entry here instead of here. stop trading just in time. That'll happen every day. Late entry on AMD. Let's see. So that's the OR3. Somewhere in here, we should be short instead of here. Okay, I understand that. I would rather see that and then add a second position on the breaking of the higher time frame. This would be your 1, 2, 3 exit or entry. Crossing of the VWAP's pretty good. Great trade. Quick cut. That works nice. Then the last one in Cliff makes up for the whole day. Explosive move right from the get-go. This is what we're looking for out of those OR3s. Is we don't have to fight to make it work. We just kind of get pulled along. When it crosses the VWAP, short side orientation, 1, 2, 3. Front runs the VWAP, it works. If we hadn't had other issues, we could have gotten a re-entry and accepting. Key towards peace of mind. So if we have the 4 things that it takes to trade: time, will, pattern, and money. Time, pattern, and money are all yes or no. There's enough time in the day, there's a specific pattern, and I have trading capital. The one that's tricky, the gray area that changes a lot, that requires spirit, is the will. And part of the will is learning to accept so you don't waste your vital energy worrying about things that aren't, or trying to change things that are, with the power of your mind. All right, that's everything I got for us today. I'll get I'm printing the reports in the background. I'll get them out to you shortly. I strongly encourage you Foundations and Creativity 202 guys, go listen to those videos. They're already posted in the common area. If you're not a Foundations or Creativity student, I would strongly consider listening to that executive summary course. There are 15 major insights in there. Yeah, Damien, I'll send you the link to them. There are 15 major insights, which is why I believe those 4 hours would make an amazing one-day workshop that if I was doing in person, I'd charge $2,000 for, and you would consider that a good value. And here's a chance to get them on deep discount, and they come with a 2R win with a coupon for the full course, which has, each of those 2 courses has well over 100 hours of deep coaching with a lot of insights. It's gold, and you have lifetime access to the courses, so when you get them, you'll have all the future updates as well. And the price on those is going up. I need to pay for my time. I'm 66, and we're at the top of our game right now, I think, so we got to show that some respect. All right, take good care, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.